Today we're gonna make an orange upside down cake. It is a beautiful mosaic of blood oranges and oranges soaked in a perfect caramel with a soft, tender cake underneath that is flavored with orange zest and like a little bit of lemon. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and click the bell icon to be notified every time I post a new and delicious recipe. So the first step that we're gonna do is we're gonna zest some of our oranges into our sugar. Now, I am using a mixture of blood oranges and regular navel oranges, but you could absolutely 100% use just regular oranges. So just go ahead and we're gonna do about 2 of these. We're gonna zest about 2 of these in here, which is exciting because then you get to use the whole orange as opposed to like before where we were just gonna like waste all this bit. But no, this cake is flavored from the inside out. And just don't get any of the bitter pith on the inside. Now, blood oranges don't have, as bitter of a pith, kind of like, like lemons, you have to be super careful. Now we are. So that is 2 blood oranges that have just been zested into my sugar. I am going to use a bit of lemon in the caramel, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just, why not? Just zest some of my lemon into my batter just to give it a little extra zip. Optional, I guess. If you forget, then, or you buy juice. Cool. And then I'm gonna use my hand, my little paw here, and I'm gonna, kind of knead that sugar into the zest. And this is really gonna help pull out those essential oils, those oils that are in the zest, and that's what's gonna give it that extra bit of flavor. Now, one more thing to do before we start mixing. I've got cake flour here, and baking powder, and kosher salt, and baking soda, all the leavening. I'm gonna grab myself a whisk, and I am going to whisk this in. Now, should I sift this? Yeah, for sure. Because it's cake flour, and cake flour is so fine that even the cornstarch can't keep it from making little lumps and clumps, but honestly, who's got the patience, okay? We're making an upside down cake. All right, it looks a lump-ish free, and we're moving on. Grab my stand mixer. You could do this with a hand mixer. All right, so go ahead and set that in there, fit it with the paddle attachment, and then I'm gonna see how much my butter has temped in the time that it's been sitting out, and assess. It's cold and pliable. And then we're gonna add our sugar. Now this is a lot of sugar for the butter, and we're excited about it. It's gonna be a delightful cake. I can tell you that right now. All right, go ahead and put that up there and go ahead and give it a mix, starting off slow. We are definitely gonna have to scrape down our bowl. Why? Because our butter has decided to park itself all on the sides. All right, and now we're gonna let that cream. So we're gonna let it kind of come together in a paste and then disperse into its crystals, and that's kind of how you know it's done. Light brown sugar is a little harder to tell because of the moisture content, but we are not going to be dismayed. While that creams, we're going to prepare our pan because we are moving right along. Grab myself a pen or a Sharpie, some sort. Trace the bottom of my pan on my parchment paper. All right, and then we're gonna give her a snip, snip, snip on the inside. Make sure you cut inside your line. 1, because Sharpie tastes terrible and is not edible. And 2, because we traced outside the pan and we would like to line inside the pan. I know, math, so useful. All right, go ahead and give your pan a little spray. And then drop your liner in there. Marvel at how well it fits. Place aside. Grab your sugar again. Go ahead and turn that back on. And we're going to add our eggs. really beat those in there really well. First egg is in there. Go ahead and add our second. All right. Oh, that silky smooth batter got going on in here. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to add my vanilla extract. It's a substantial amount of vanilla. And then we are going to alternately add our flour mixture and our buttermilk. So go ahead and turn that on low, medium low. Go ahead and just kind of get that in there. I'm going to just two-hand it, double fist it, if you will. Don't let all of the flour work in before you add the next batch of flour and buttermilk, because then you've overmixed your batter, and that'll be sad. Now, could we have prepared our pan and stuff first? Totally. But I just wanted to just get her done. So we've got a beautiful batter here, which I'm going to give one last fold by hand, because it's not totally incorporated. There's a couple, I see some flour that's just chilling, and I want to make sure I get all that mixed and incorporated before we start the next step. Now, grab yourself a cutting board, something. I find that when cutting citrus, I like to use a serrated knife. It is much easier to get the pith and everything off in one fell swoop, and that's what we intend to do. Find yourself a bowl to place said citrus in. Got this one here, it had my flour in it. Not stressed about that. So go ahead and just kind of cut off the ends of the citrus and just make sure it kind of, you know, exposes itself here. Oh, look at that blood orange. Oh, okay. And then we are going to pull our knife around, all the way around, like you're you're making an orange shape. And you're gonna get all of that pith and all of that skin off in one fell swoop. Yeah. Again, the serrated knife really actually does help a lot. So don't omit that. Last one, best one. All right, and so we've got ourselves a nice citrus with no pith, and we're stoked. And we're gonna repeat, not with the lemon, because that we're just gonna juice. So I'm just gonna like pull that to the side over here and then set this back in the fridge. I'm gonna go ahead and just juice her before my hand gets all goobered. Juice her into this bowl here. It's about half a lemon. That was a giant lemon. I don't know if you saw it, but it was like, wow, mammoth. So it's about half of a normal lemon. A standard issue lemon, if you will. My hand's already goobered, so I'm not stressed about that, and I'm just gonna keep going with all the rest of my citrus. Now, you've got decisions to make. Real big decisions here, peeps. All right, so I'm making this in a 9-inch round. You could certainly make this in a, a 9 by 11 or an 8 by 8 or a 9 by 9, whatever you want. That's what you can make it in. Totally cool. But the real decisions comes with how you're gonna cut your oranges. So you can slice them like this, and you can get little like sections that break apart, little fans, if you will. But I'm thinking that I actually want to supreme these, and I'm gonna go with a fun kind of, I don't know, almost flower petal mosaic situation. You're like, what are you talking? You'll see. Anyways, cut them however you wish, but do be aware that you're gonna wanna make sure that, you don't want all of this, the in-between pith, especially the blood oranges. It's like, it can be a lot. There was a faster option, but I chose this one. Yes, I did. Now we're in it. We can't go back. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put these into this bowl, even though it's gonna kind of dye the, the regular oranges a little bit red, but I just want to clean this. All right, we've got our batter made, we've got our citrus cut, we've got all the things done except we are going to make our caramel. Now, in my pan here, I've got butter, which I am going to melt. Yep, totally should have done this earlier. Here we are. All right.
Get yourself a little spatula. Our butter is melting. You know what that looks like. All right. Okay, I want to show you what's happening in there, but I can't because she's done. Okay, you see how your caramel is nice and dark and like, yeah. Give it a stir, get that butter in there, right? It's like almost made a brown butter situation right now with the caramel, and you're like, what is happening? Kitchen magic. Bam! Lemon juice in. All right, do you see it's kind of like bubbled up and it's, you know, nice and smooth now. We're feeling good about it. Yes, we are. That was touch and go. All right, grab thy pan, pour in thy caramel, and then spread it out to really coat the bottom, right? Everybody gets some caramel. Nobody's left behind. All right, now we're going to arrange our citrus. You don't want to let something as juicy as citrus sit on caramel for too long without, you know, kind of baking, having your batter ready and baking. So you want to make sure that your batter is in fact ready before you start putting your citrus on here. Because the longer they sit, the more juice they're going to let out, which sounds like it's a good thing, but it's honestly, it's not in this scenario. All right. Now we're ready to put our batter in there. Feels like we made this 10 years ago. We didn't. It was like 20 minutes ago, but still. All right, go ahead and just dollop your batter into your pan. Get it in there. Baby offset. Go ahead and spread this out. And then we're gonna get it in the oven. You see how all the juices kind of started to release and everything, and we're not stressed about that because it's just going to soak into the cake and kind of combine with the caramel to make this like beautiful, silky, soft, like, oh my gosh, I can't, I am so excited to show you. All right, ready. Pop her in the oven, 325. And then, I mean, it's gonna bake, let's be honest, probably close to 30, 40 minutes, because she's thick. But we're here for it. She's out. So she baked about 40 minutes until a cake tester kind of, you poke in and came out completely clean. You also want to make sure that it feels like it gives resistance when you touch it, and that it feels like almost the same out here as it does in the center, just because you don't want the center to be soggy and sad. So now we're gonna let her cool about 10 minutes and then flip it upside down just to make sure that the caramel and the citrus don't stick to the bottom, because as the caramel cools, it's gonna wanna kind of resettle into its space down there, and we do not wanna make the bottom of the pan our home. So 10 minutes, we'll flip her upside down. Yes. Get your favorite cake plate, cake stand, cake, regular plate, whatever you want. That's what you should use. I'm feeling this situation here, a little depression glass, not a comment on my mental state. And I am just gonna go ahead and run the tip of a spatula just around the edge, just in case any sort of, sometimes the caramel likes to kind of like bubble up and stick to the sides. And so we just wanna make sure that we free her. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and just flip her over and not burn my hands. She's warm. She's warm. All right. I hope you wanted caramel on your counter because that's where she's going. You know, the big reveal. Da, 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 da. Oh, wow. Look at that next level gorgeousness. It's gonna be a darn good cake. So sadly, this caramel that has dripped down is lost to us. But so much has just soaked into the cake, and it's gonna be, oh my gosh, it's so moist. But we need to let it cool. Technically, I mean, if you wanted to serve it like this, you totally could. Get yourself a big scoop of vanilla ice cream, plop that on there, just dig in. But we're gonna wait and let it cool so we can get a nice, beautiful slice. And it's gonna take at least an hour. I know. Yum. time to try. Yes, she is cool 99% of the way, which is good enough for me. So I am super stoked. I'm just gonna take a nice like slice over here. I'm gonna use a serrated knife because I'm thinking it's going to work better with cutting of the citrus because that can be kind of hard sometimes. Wow, that's a really big piece that I just sliced for myself. You should do the same. Oh my goodness, do you see how gorgeous she is? Wow, yes. The beautiful, soft, tender crumb and like the nice, like the soaking of the caramel, like it soaks inside with all the juices and you've got like the nice, beautiful citrus on top. Oh, yes, this is an upside down cake. Busha! In we go. In we go. And a delicate, tender cake. Super beautifully flavored with the orange zest, but still like, it's like a subtle drama in there. With like the full drama on top. Yes, drama cake. I love it. Yum.